Hello and welcome in the e-lecture series of Gyandu 2.0 and innovation in college education, and as a significant initiative for the students for preparing them for examination. I am Dr. Asha Arora, Assistant Professor of English, Chaudhry Balluram Godara, Government Girls College, Shri Ganganagar. Today, in this lecture, I am going to explain the poem The Indian Weavers, that is written by the Indo-Anglian poetess Sarojini Naidu. The term Indo-Anglian is used to denote the original literary creation in English language by Indians. Before I proceed on the textual explanation of the poem, let us know about the writer of this poem, Sarojini Naidu. She was born in Hyderabad in 1879 and died in 1949. She was an Indian political activist also. She was a proponent. Proponent is a person who speaks or argues in support of a particular idea. She was a proponent of civil rights, women's emancipation, and anti-imperialistic ideas. It means she was in favor of women's freedom from old social limitations and customs. She was in favor of gaining civil rights, and she was also in favor of self-government. She was an important figure in India's struggle for independence from colonial rule. She is popularly known as the Nightingale of India or Bharat Kokila. This title was given to her by Mahatma Gandhi because of her use of color, imagery, and lyrical quality in her poetry. Now I begin with the textual reading of the poem. Weavers, weaving at break of day, why do you weave a garment so gay? We in the beginning say that in the first two lines there is a question that is asked by the poetess to the weavers, but in actual we come to know that she is addressing to the weavers, while weavers are only her imagination. She asks to the weavers that they are weaving the clothes at the early morning or in the beginning of the day, and the clothes which they are weaving, those clothes are very happy or cheerful or delightful. Blue as the wing of a halcyon child, we weave the robes of a newborn child. We see in the four lines, the first two lines are asked by the poetess, and the next two lines are the answer of the weavers. The weavers reply that they are weaving the cloth that is blue as the wing of a halcyon wild. Wild means a halcyon is a mythological bird like a kingfisher. Uh, we weave the robes of a newborn child. The weavers reply that they are weaving the garments of a newborn child. In this way, we see that the poetess observed the Indian weavers early in the morning. They were busy in their routine work. She asked them what garment they were weaving that looked so colorful and cheerful. She also wanted to know that why they have used blue color like that of halcyon bird in wild nature. She got the answer that they were weaving a dress for the newborn child. we see uh, in actual, the poetess was questioning to herself. This is a rhetoric question where the answer is implied. This makes the poem a sort of dramatic monologue where the poetess is speaking almost to herself. She questions and she only replies. The very first stanza refers to the early period of our life, childhood, which is full of happiness and merrymaking. The blue color symbolizes this spirit of freedom and carefree life. The next stanza is weavers weaving at fall of night. Why do you weave a garment so bright? The poetess asks to the weavers that they are weaving at the fall of night. At the fall of night means when the night is to come. They are weaving. Why do you weave a garment so bright? Why they are weaving a garment that is so bright looking? Like the plumes of a peacock, purple and green, we weave the marriage veils of a queen. The weavers reply to the poetess that, like the plumes of a peacock, plumes means feathers, soft feathers, like the soft feathers of a peacock, that has the color purple and green. We weave the marriage veils of a queen. They are preparing the marriage veils or marriage clothes of a queen. So, in the second stanza, once again, we see the poetess asked what the weavers were weaving on the uh, uh, coming of the evening or at the onset of the evening. She also wanted to know why the garment they were weaving was bright in color. She also wanted to know that the garment was looking like the plumes of a peacock that are purple and green in color. The answer that she got was that they were weaving a marriage dress for a queen. The second stanza describes the shining, youthful period of our life. The purple and green color of the peacock plume symbolizes enthusiasm, imaginative period of our life. The brightness of life is reflected in the second stanza. The third stanza is weavers weaving solemn and still, what do you weave in the moonlight chill? Again the poetess asks to the weavers that they are weaving solemn. Solemn means in a serious way, and still. Still means there is still atmosphere. What do you weave in the moonlight chill? The poetess asks to the weavers that what are they weaving at this time when there is chill and when there is moonlight. White as a feather and white as a cloud, we weave a dead man's funeral shroud. The weavers reply that uh, they are weaving a cloth that is the shroud of a dead man. That cloth is white, that is white as a feather and white as a cloud. We weave a dead man's funeral shroud. In at the night time, they are weaving the cloth of a dead person. So, in the third stanza, again, the poetess observed the weavers weaving at night time. The atmosphere is silent, calm, and quiet. Everything is just still. The poetess asked the weavers what they were weaving in plain white color. The white color represents purity of life, contentment in life, and the end of life. Third stanza refers to the old age and death. The poetess got the answer that the weavers were weaving a shroud to cover the dead man. The poem begins with a happy tone and continues to be cheerful in nature. However, at the end reflects the sorrowful tone, showing that our life is a mixture of joy, happiness, and sorrow. Now, after the textual reading of the poem, let us know some more facts about the poem. This poem is found in Sarojini Naidu's collection of poems, The Golden Threshold, that was published in London in 1905. The title of this volume is taken from the name of Sarojini's home, The Golden Threshold, and it is Sarojini's entry into the golden world of poetry. Sarojini Naidu has written three collection of poems. The one is The Golden Threshold, and the second is The Bird of Time, and the third is The Broken Wing. And this poem, The Indian Weavers, is found in The Golden Threshold. Though the theme of the poem looks simple, but it has some deeper meanings. The theme of the poem is parallelism that the poetess beautifully draws between three parts of the weaver's work day and three stages of human life. The poem is a metaphor for the three stages of human life: birth, youth, and death. In the first stanza, the poetess observes weavers weaving a bright, beautiful cloth at break of day, and she asks them why they are weaving such a gay cloth, happy cloth. The weavers reply that they are weaving it for the dress of a newly born child. That is why the cloth they weave is of a blue color, as the blue wings of a kingfisher. The dawn or daybreak symbolizes the beginning of life, the birth of a new life, and blue color symbolizes the depth and color of the ocean, out of which emerge the white swan and the white lotus in the Hindu creation myths. It also symbolizes the ocean of eternity, after crossing which alone the soul is born into this world. The newborn child is an expression of the creative powers and the creative joy of Brahma, the Supreme. Hence, it is in the fitness of things that the garment woven for him should be blue in color, gay, and bright. In this way, we see that the choice of blue color for the beginning of the day, for the birth of child, the color suits, as the color is gay and bright. We can draw the deeper meanings from the second stanza also, as at nightfall the poetess finds the weavers weaving a cloth bright and multicolored. She asks the weavers for whom they are weaving a cloth of such variegated colors. The weavers tell her that they are weaving a cloth of purple and green color, magnificent and colorful, like the feathers of a peacock, for the bridal dress of a queen. Purple and green colors are colors of blood and sap. Sap, that is the green fluid in the veins of trees and plants, and so symbolic of fertility and growth. Purple and green color uh, they reflect the color of blood and sap, that is green fluid in the veins of trees and plants, so symbolic of fertility and growth. The plumes of the peacock, they may represent Krishna, that is an avatar of Vishnu, and the queen here may be Radha, the eternal bride. They symbolize the marriage of heaven and earth, the sacred union of being and becoming. The glory, the mystery, and the joy of life are all stressed as the expression of joy of Vishnu in his creative mood. Night symbolizes Vishnu's Yog Nidra, rising out of which he forces chaos into order. So, there can be many interpretations of these lines. They can be in the Indian context also. If we take up the third stanza, we see its theme. In the cold moonlight, the poetess finds the weavers still at work. They are now silent, and their mood is serious. They are now weaving a white cloth that is as white as a bird's feather or a cloud. And to the question of the poetess, they reply that they are weaving it for the funeral shroud of a dead man. The chill of the moonlit night is symbolic of death, and it is befitting that the shroud should be of white color, for white is the symbol of purity, white is the symbol of unity and possibility. Death means a reunion with the eternal and the possibility of regeneration. So, the poetess here uses the word or the color white uh, for the garment that is being made at night time. uh, White color, which is a symbol of purity, of unity and possibility. Death means a reunion with the eternal and the possibility of regeneration. In this way, we see that in this beautiful lyric, the poetess has traced human life through the three most important stages that it passes: birth, marriage, and death. The texture is symbolic, and yet the poetess has succeeded in retaining the simplicity of the folk song. If we talk about the poem's structure, the poem is a small lyric in three stanzas of 4 lines each. In each stanza, a question is asked in the first 2 lines, and this question is answered in the remaining 2 lines. Weaving is one of the most important of the folk vocations in India, and the weavers are important folk characters. The poetess has skillfully retained the simplicity and lilting music of a folk song, even though the lyric has a symbolic significance and a rich texture, having layers within layers of meaning. The poem has been written in iambic tetrameter, and the 3 stanzas follow the rhyme scheme of AABB. The style of the poem is simple and lucid, with each stanza beginning with a question. We can see that Though the poem is simple and lucid, but it is not only a simple poem, but it is a distinguished one because the poetess is in full possession of rare gifts. She shows her rare gifts as she is a profound aware of her own tradition. She shows Indian culture. She has admirable poise or balance, economy, and an ear and eye for striking rhythm. She also follows the rules of rhyming scheme. She presents images and symbolic significances, all used to fine advantage to make the poem most evocative. All these things make the poem most effective. The poetic devices used in the poem are metaphor, alliteration, and inversion. The poetess uses metaphor as she compares the birth or childhood stage of man with a daybreak, and again in the poem she compares death, old age, and the last stage of man's life with chill moonlight. And if we want to notice alliteration, we can see the line, why do you weave a garment so gay? This is the second line of the poem. In this line there is alliteration on the letter W and G. The poetess uses inversion in this literary figure of speech. The words are not put in correct order as we can notice in the line that is in the last stanza. What do you weave in the moonlight chill? The poetess uses the word chill after moonlight, while in order it should be before moonlight. So inversion has been used in this line. The most prominent figure of speech used throughout the poem is simile, and it enhances the poetic appeal of the poem. We can see the use of simile in the first stanza in the line, blue as the wing of a halcyon wild, and in the second stanza in the line, like the plumes of a peacock, purple and green, and in the third stanza, white as a feather and white as a cloud. So in these lines the poetess uses simile. The special feature of the poem is the vivid imagery in correlating the parts of the day to the three stages of life. The poetess has provided a symbolic representation of man's journey from birth to death. The weavers are the fates of Greek mythology who are weaving the web of life, or the Indian Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, the lords of man's destiny, who create and regenerate through death itself. Their process of creation is an endless one, like the weaving of the weavers from morning till night. Through the simple narration of the poem, the poetess symbolizes the threads of life that are woven by destiny and fate, and which is represented by weavers. The message can be drawn from the poem as the poem gives respect to the talented and hard-working weavers. The readers like the poem for its beauty of thought, colorfulness, and use of imagery. The message that is conveyed through the poem is positivity, optimism, and hope. The poetess very well explains the cycle of life. The color scheme of the poem gives pleasure to the readers. We can sum up the poem as the first stanza refers morning, childhood, happiness, and imagination. The second stanza shows early evening, young age, brightfulness, and colorfulness. The third stanza reflects on night, old age, cold, content, and sorrow. The poetic devices used in the poem are metaphor, simile, repetition, symbolism, and alliteration. The structure of the poem is three stanzas with 4 lines each. The poetess uses question and answer method in the poem. The rhyming scheme of the poem is AA, BB, CC, DD, EE, FF. Sarojini Naidu deals with the themes of time, death, and suffering. The first stanza reflects happiness, the second stanza reflects enthusiasm, and the third stanza reflects sorrow in human life. We can say that Sarojini Naidu uses English words while her poetry is spirited with Indian soul.